story starts with courage. In 2001, September 10th to be exact, I was sitting on my porch in Burlington, actually 2 miles away, and I had my hood over my head, and I was crying, and my 8-year-old was sleeping in the bedroom above, peacefully not knowing that her mother was considering ending her life. I had been widowed for 6 years. I was 34 years old, and I didn't know how to go on. How do I go on? For 6 years, 24/7, I had cared for my late husband, Kevin Gerard O'Donnell. And we were only married for a little bit before he became ill, and it was the only life I knew. So I'm sitting there, and I'm feeling sorry for myself, and I'm looking at the stars, and I'm calling out to heaven and to God and to Kevin and saying, how do I go on? I had all these dreams and ambitions and hopes, and they're gone. So I got my sorry ass to bed, up the steps, because I knew the next morning I had to get my daughter up, Alina, and get her to school and go to work in Philadelphia at Hahnemann with the ALS Hope Foundation as Director of Communications. So I'm driving to work, and I'm listening to NPR as I do, and I hear the news, September 11th. And I pull my car over because I can't drive. And I'm shaking, and I'm like, how, why, where? Is this real? And that day, all those people died, and something in me, it sounds terrible, came back to life. And the reason being is that I was feeling sorry for myself, and I figured that my life had ended with my husband for 24/7. I was his voice, I was his legs, I was his arms. 1 year into living with Lou Gehrig's disease, or ALS, he was in a wheelchair. 2 years he had a feeding tube that I provided for him, and give him his feedings. 3 years he was ventilated and speechless and paralyzed. And I cared for him, and I bathed him, and I took care of him, and read his lips to speak for him and allow his voice to be heard. And I had no idea what to do with my life after that. And now, all those people who didn't have the opportunity to say goodbye, to show their love, to say the last time ever that I love you or I care for you. Maybe they fought that morning. Maybe they thought about divorce and brought it up. Who knows? I had 6 years to show the man I loved how much I loved him. And so I felt immediately shameful. How? Why? You're blessed. Why would you do such a selfish thing? And I decided to live again. And I was working, as I said, with an ALS group. And I ordered a book called What Did You Learn Today? And the man who brought the book, Warren Benton Ames, and his 2 children, Nora and Adam, had the book because his wife had written it for his children. And she also died from ALS. And I allowed myself to think, what if? And we became friends, and 2 years later we were married, and our children were our bridal party. And then all of a sudden I realized that I had 3 children and 2 adults who were all grieving a loss because of ALS. And I realized that my children had no resources but the ones that I could provide. So from my home, in my pajamas, I started Hope Loves Company, the only nonprofit in the entire United States with the purpose of providing educational, emotional support to children and young adults who had or have someone battling ALS. And I started with friends coming over, and I figured they don't care if I'm in my PJs and drinking my coffee. And I just started taking classes and actually went to meetings and took the courage and thought of the courage that it took my husband the courage to say goodbye at the age of 35. I need to do something courageous in his memory. So I need to get out there and turn my grief into something amazing and something that will change lives and something that will heal me in the process. And so in 2007, that's when I started. In 2012, we became a 501c3. In 4 years, we've had 7 camps. We're taking 20 kids to Iceland next summer. I'm leaving tomorrow night to speak in Dublin to tell the entire world at an international conference about ALS about this program. So all I can say is someday I too will lose this life here on earth, and I can't wait to meet Kevin again and tell him and share with him that I've led a courageous life. Thank you.